My name is Clara Bennett, and I am 38 years old. The birthday candles, all 38 of them, flicker in the dim restaurant lighting, casting dancing shadows across the untouched glass of Cabernet before me. I check my phone for the 11th time in 30 minutes. 7:30 p.m., still nothing. My fingernail taps against the dark screen, a nervous rhythm that matches the growing, familiar ache in my chest. Should we wait a bit longer for your guests, Miss Bennett? I glance up to find the waiter hovering at my table's edge, a practiced sympathy etched into the fine lines around his eyes. His gaze flickers between the 4 empty chairs surrounding me and the small, elegant chocolate cake centered on the white tablecloth. Just another 15 minutes, please. I summon a smile that feels brittle and thin. It's the 3rd time I've requested an extension, and we both know what that means. I smooth down the front of my emerald silk blouse, the one I splurged on last week specifically for tonight. The fabric whispers beneath my fingertips, cool and expensive. Behind the waiter, couples murmur and laugh, silverware clinks against china, and somewhere a cork pops. The sounds of celebration swirl around me, while I sit marooned at my island of solitude. 2 weeks ago, I had booked this table at the Veranda, downtown Austin's newest culinary hotspot. I'd been riding the high of finally securing $1.2 million in angel investment for Stonehaven Analytics, my AI-driven data startup. After 3 years of 18-hour workdays, of liquidating my 400 wunk, of second mortgaging my condo, someone not related to me, finally believed in my vision. Family dinner at the Veranda to celebrate my birthday, and some big news. I'd texted to our family group chat. Thursday at 7. I'll make reservations for 5. 3 days passed with no response. Friendly reminder. Just confirming dinner this Thursday. Let me know if you can make it. Another 2 days of silence. Reservation is set for 7 p.m. Thursday. Hope to see everyone there. Nothing. Not from Mom, not from Dad, not from my brother Ryan. My throat tightens as I sip my water, the ice cubes clinking against my teeth. This shouldn't surprise me. This is my 38th birthday. It marks 15 years, 15 straight years, of this same pattern. When I was 20 and Ryan was 18, Dad took him on a networking trip to Jackson Hole. When I asked why I wasn't invited, Dad had patted my head and said, "He's the man of the family now, Clara. He needs this kind of investment. You just need to be reliable." Reliable meant signing Ryan's a $25,000 loan for a vintage Mustang when I was 24, fresh out of college and drowning in my own student debt. He was going to restore it and flip it. 6 months later, when he stopped making payments, I covered them for a year rather than let my credit score collapse. Dad had thanked me with a distracted nod, while helping Ryan install a new stereo system in the car. That's what family does, honey. We prop each other up. But the propping always seemed to go in one direction. I take another sip of water, willing away the tightness in my throat. My family has always been there, just not in the ways that matter. Not in ways that make me feel seen. Excuse me. I look up from my glass to find a man standing beside my table. He's tall, maybe in his late 50s, with salt and pepper hair and kind, intelligent eyes behind tortoiseshell glasses. He's wearing a charcoal suit that looks tailor-made. "I don't mean to intrude," he says, his voice warm and rich, "but I couldn't help noticing it might be your birthday." He gestures toward the small cake with its unlit candles. My fingers clench around the stem of my wine glass. "It is. May I wish you a happy birthday then." I should politely dismiss him, thank him and let him go. Instead, I hear myself say, "Thank you." He hesitates, then asks, "Would you mind if I joined you for a moment, just until your other guests arrive?" Something in his expression, genuine kindness, completely devoid of pity, makes me nod. "I'm Clara, Miles Harrison." He settles into the chair across from me, setting a worn leather portfolio on the table. "I'm a history professor over at UT. I write books about, well, mostly about resilience." He smiles, the corners of his eyes crinkling. "Though I suspect you know something about that already." My laugh surprises me, a short, rusty sound. "Are you always this perceptive with strangers?" Occupational hazard. He gestures toward the waiter, who approaches with a lighter. "May I?" When I nod, the waiter lights the candles. Their tiny flames reflect in Miles's glasses as he asks, "So, what brought you here tonight? All dressed up and waiting so patiently." I hesitate, then decide the truth is simpler than fiction. "I just secured a major investment for my company. I thought my family might want to celebrate." "Ah, He nods, understanding blooming in his expression. And they're running late. They're not coming. The words taste bitter, like coffee left too long on the burner. They didn't even respond to my messages. Then they are missing something extraordinary. Miles leans forward, resting his forearms on the table. Tell me about this company that earned such an impressive investment. Thought for a moment. I consider changing the subject, then something inside me shifts. Why not enjoy this? Why not share my triumph with someone who actually seems interested? Stonehaven Analytics, I say, feeling a genuine smile spread across my face for the first time all night. We build AI-driven predictive models for supply chains. I just landed 1.2 million in series of funding. I pull out my phone, showing him our sleek website. Remarkable, Miles says, studying the screen. When he looks up, his admiration feels like sunshine after days of rain. Someone should be celebrating your brilliance tonight, Clara. His words unlock something in my chest. As I blow out the candles, I make a different wish than I'd planned. Not for my family's approval, but for the strength to finally stop waiting for it. I won't wait for their approval anymore, I whisper, more to myself than to him. That is the hardest lesson of all, he says softly. Learning that some people simply cannot give what they do not possess. The waiter returns with 2 plates for the cake. As I cut into it, I find myself telling Miles Harrison about Ryan's car. About decades of showing up for a family that rarely showed up for me. About building my company from nothing, while my parents focused all their energy and money on my brother's series of failed ventures. The strange thing is, I say, I think a part of me still loves them, despite everything. Love and boundaries are not mutually exclusive, Miles replies. In fact, the healthiest kind of love requires them. As we share my birthday cake beneath the restaurant's warm lights, I realize that a stranger's kindness has made this night more meaningful than any family celebration ever could have. For the first time in years, I feel truly seen. And suddenly, that's enough. If you've ever felt that ache of being invisible to the people who are supposed to see you best, or if you've ever had to find your celebration in unexpected places, please, take a moment to click that like button. It means so much to know these stories are connecting. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you won't miss what happens next. Morning sunlight spills across my balcony, turning the rim of my coffee cup golden as I breathe in the crisp Austin air. The distant skyline cuts a jagged silhouette against the cloudless sky. 4 years have passed since that birthday night when Miles Harrison first entered my life. My phone chirps with a notification. Another media outlet has shared yesterday's interview, where I detailed Stonehaven's journey from my kitchen counter to a 45 million valuation. The view count has crossed 500,000. I take a slow sip of coffee, savoring the roast Miles introduced me to. The new face of data, reads one comment. If only they knew how unnatural my own family could be. My phone buzzes again, this time with a call. The name makes my stomach clench. Mom. We've barely spoken in 4 years. Obligatory holiday texts. 2 stilted coffee meetings that ended in arguments about my priorities. I consider letting it go to voicemail but slide my finger across the screen. Clara, honey! Her voice drips with a sugary sweetness I haven't heard since high school graduation. Did you see my messages? No, I was just. Ryan's getting married. Can you believe it? Our boy, finally settling down with Jessica. We'd love your help with planning the celebration. I grip the phone tighter. That's wonderful news. When's the wedding? June. Listen, sweetheart. We've been talking, your father and I all, and we think this would be the perfect time for a Bennett family collaboration. Collaboration. The word hangs between us, fragile and transparent. Your company, with our family name. Bennett Analytics. It has such a nice ring. We've always been your biggest supporters, you know. The lie stings more than if she'd slapped me. I stare at the Forbes magazine on my coffee table. The one with my face on the cover. I need to think about that. I manage, my professional voice sliding into place like armor. Of course, honey. Call me back this afternoon. After we disconnect, another message chimes. Ryan, hey sis. Big news about the wedding. Also, my artisan car restoration garage needs a primary sponsor. Only $250,000 for the season. Great exposure for Stonehaven. Let me know. I place my phone face down on the table. The view from my penthouse suddenly feels isolating rather than peaceful. Later that morning, I sit in my office, reviewing old files. Not for work. I open a new spreadsheet and title it Family Financial History. Line by line, I document every loan, every gift, every bailout, the 25,000 for the Mustang, the 6 months of his rent I covered when he found himself after dropping out of college, the 10,000 for his music career, equipment, the repairs to Dad's boat after Ryan crashed it. The spreadsheet swells to the 68,000 of silent, unacknowledged support. This isn't about punishment, I whisper to the empty office. It's about boundaries. My CFO, Martin, knocks before entering with quarterly reports. Everything okay, Clara? He asks, noticing my expression. Family matters. Martin, if my brother or parents reach out to you about business opportunities or sponsorship, please direct them to me. Immediately. Martin nods, his face impassive. Legally speaking, you have no obligation to entangle family with the company. It's often unwise. I know, I say, thanking him. My phone lights up. A text from Maggie, my oldest friend. Saw Ryan's FB post about needing sponsors for his garage. Let me guess, he's hitting you up. They didn't celebrate you, Clara. Why would you fund them? Maggie always cuts right to the heart of it. A card arrives via courier later that afternoon. Miles's distinctive handwriting. Inside, a quote. Boundaries are not walls. They are the foundations upon which healthy relationships are built. By evening, I've crafted an email that feels both business-like and final. I attach the spreadsheet detailing the 68,000. If we are going to collaborate, I write, let's start from zero, with full transparency. I hesitate before pressing send, wondering if I'm being too harsh. Then I remember my 34th birthday, the unlit candles, the 4 empty chairs. My finger taps the screen. My mother's reply arrives within 3 minutes. Explosive and familiar. How dare you? We didn't raise you to be so cold and transactional. After everything we've done for you, we gave you life. I take a deep breath and type my response, each word a quiet declaration of freedom. I was grateful. I was grateful in silence, in money, and in tears for 15 years. Now, I'm grateful to myself for finally stopping. When Miles arrives for dinner, he finds me on the balcony. He doesn't ask about my day. He simply stands beside me, his presence a ballast against the storm. They want to use me, I say finally. Not celebrate me. And what do you want? He asks, his voice gentle. I turn to face him, feeling stronger than I have in years. To stop confusing obligation with love. He smiles, taking my hand. Then that's exactly what you'll do. As we head inside, my phone chimes with more messages from my family. For the first time in my life, I leave them unanswered. A week later, the receptionist's voice crackles through my office intercom, interrupting my quarterly projections meeting. Miss Bennett, your mother and brother are in the lobby. They say it's urgent. My marketing director raises an eyebrow. 5 other executives pause, pens hovering over their notes. Tell them I'm in a meeting, I reply, forcing a professional smile. I'll be out shortly. The intercom clicks again. They insist on waiting. And they brought cake. A familiar tension coils at the base of my neck. My family never visited during the 3 years I worked 16-hour days in a cramped, one-room office. Now that Stonehaven occupies 2 entire floors, they've discovered an urgent need to see me. 10-minute break, everyone, I announce, setting down my laser pointer. Greg, please prepare the distribution figures for when we resume. In the reception area, my mother Evelyn holds a bakery box like a peace offering. Her hair is freshly colored, and her cream-colored blazer likely cost more than my first month's rent. Ryan stands beside her, hands jammed in designer jeans, a calculated casual look. Surprise? Mom trills, lifting the cake box. We thought we'd stop by and celebrate your Forbes feature. No hard feelings about missing your calls, right? My receptionist watches with undisguised curiosity. 2 of my designers glance over from the break room. How thoughtful, I say. Let's talk in the conference room. A mom's eyes sweep across our modern workspace. The exposed brick, the sleek workstations. Ryan trails behind, pausing to tap on a glass, walled office. You must be making a fortune off this code, sis. I guide them into the small conference room, away from curious ears. Once the door closes, I turn. This is my workplace. Why are you really here? Mom sets the cake down. Can't we visit our successful daughter without an agenda? Ryan sprawls in one of the leather chairs. Yeah, Clara, don't be so suspicious. The last time we spoke, I remind him, you asked for 250,000. The time before that, Mom hinted about wedding costs. Forgive me for suspecting this isn't just a social call. Mom's expression hardens. You've changed. Success has made you cold. I haven't changed, I counter, remaining standing. I've just stopped pretending. Ryan leans forward. Come on, sis. We're family. That means something. The word hangs between us, weighted with history, with the 25,000 car loan, with 15 birthdays spent alone. Yes, it does, I agree, my voice steady. Family should mean love without invoices, support without conditions, celebration without calculation. After all we sacrificed for you? Mom insists. What exactly did you sacrifice? The question escapes before I can filter it. When I needed a co-signer for my first business loan, you said it was too risky. When I worked 18-hour days, you never once brought me cake. When I sat alone at the veranda on my birthday, your phones were apparently all broken. Ryan shifts. That's not fair. What's not fair is using family as currency, I interrupt. I don't need a family only when I'm successful. I don't need cake only when there's something in it for you. We've always been proud of you, Mom insists, but her eyes dart toward the door. I believe you, I say, softening my tone. But I've learned to live for my validation, not yours. I will always love you both, but this company is not a family ATM. My success does not create an obligation for you to cash in. Mom gathers her designer handbag. I see we've caught you at a bad time. Any time you come with expectations rather than genuine support will be a bad time, I reply. They leave. Through the glass walls, I watch them cross the reception area, Mom's back rigid, Ryan's stride frustrated. My phone buzzes. A text from Miles. Coffee after your ambush. Proud of you for standing your ground. Another text. My business partner. Take the afternoon. We've got this. Later, I draft an email declining the wedding invitation, attaching a generous but appropriate gift card. I create clear guidelines for future communications. My financial advisor helps establish a trust for genuine family emergencies, not demands. My phone pings. Ryan's Facebook status. Some people only care about money, not family. Blood used to mean something. My finger hovers over the keyboard. Then Miles's text arrives. Your truth doesn't need defending. I set my phone down, choosing dignity over defensiveness. The chapter of apologizing for my boundaries has ended. 2 days later, the cursor blinks. Theodore's. No, Ryan's. Facebook post glares at me. Blood used to mean something. Mutual friends are tagging me. The gossip is spreading. I type carefully. Family isn't a debt. It's a place where love should be unconditional. I hope everyone finds that place, including me. I press. Post. Done. Notifications flood in. Stay strong, Clara. You're handling this with grace. My friend Maggie calls. Ryan's gone nuclear in the group chat. And your mother called me, asking if I could talk some sense into you. And what did you tell her? That you made perfect sense already. Her voice fades. Listen, they're calling around. Your father phoned James from the Chamber of Commerce, trying to rewrite history, saying they supported you from day one. I press my fingertips to my closed eyelids. They never even asked what Stonehaven did until the Forbes feature. My assistant Emma meets me at the office door. Mr. Harrington from Keystone Capital called, said your brother contacted him with concerns about company stability. He seemed confused. Heat flashes across my face. He contacted my investors. 2 hours later, I sit across from James Harrington at the veranda, the same restaurant. The irony is bitter. I appreciate your time, James, I begin. I understand my brother contacted you. He nods, his gray eyebrows knit together. Said something about family troubles affecting business decisions. Wanted to warn me. Not very professional. No, family and business are separate entities in my world, James. Always have been. Good. He unfolds his napkin. The quarterly reports speak for themselves, Clara. 28% growth doesn't lie. Your brother, he seemed entitled to your success, mentioned something about family collaboration being owed to him. There will be no collaboration, I say. Smart call. Back at the office, I launched the Stonehaven Foundation, my new project supporting young women in STEM. Later, I make a 25,000 anonymous donation to a local trade school's auto restoration program. My phone buzzes. Dad, your mother is devastated. This public humiliation is beneath you. I set the phone aside. The foundation website already has 12 applications. When Miles rings the doorbell, he's holding takeout. Thought you might not want to go out. You thought right. He contacted my investors. That crosses every line, Miles says, his expression dark. They didn't buy it. Turns out professionalism speaks louder than accusations. We eat on the balcony. My phone buzzes. Ryan's fiancée Jessica. We need to clear the air before the wedding. Did you see the comment from Sandra Werner? Miles asks. Ryan's biggest sponsor for the garage. No. What? She's reconsidering their partnership after recent revelations about character. Apparently. Your mother's version backfired. I take a slow sip of wine. I never asked for that. You didn't have to, Miles says. Truth has a way of finding daylight. The voicemail from my mother plays for the third time. We're still your parents. Some bonds can't be broken. I press delete. The wedding invitation is on the counter. Time for family healing. The note says, Miles arrives with coffee. Latest artillery. He asks, gesturing to the invitation. And photo albums, I say, pointing to a stack. FedExed yesterday. With sticky notes. Remember Christmas 1998. My phone buzzes. Ryan, Dad mentioned his blood pressure's been high. Really hoping you'll reconsider. Would mean a lot. Last week it was Mom's migraines, I tell Miles. They're getting creative, he notes. I keep thinking I should feel worse, I say. Shouldn't I be torn apart? I don't think it's cold, Miles says. I think it's clarity. You've stopped mistaking familiarity for obligation. You can forgive someone without resuming the same relationship. Forgiveness without restoration. The words settle in my chest. Limited contact, I say, thinking aloud. Neutral public places. No business. Mutual respect. The question isn't if they'll accept it, Miles says. If you can enforce it, I can, I say. That night, I draft the email. No accusations. Just clear, forward-facing boundaries. I outline the terms under which I will attend the wedding and maintain a relationship. I click send. On the wedding day, I stand in the glittering ballroom of the Driscoll Hotel. Miles is beside me, a steady anchor. You made it, Ryan says, his new wife Jessica beside him. And you brought a date. Miles, I introduce. Congratulations to you both. Thank you for coming, Clara, Jessica says. Your gift was so thoughtful. See a modest check and a financial planning book. A Clara, Ryan shifts. Listen, about the garage. Miles's hand touches my waist, a subtle reminder. Today is about your marriage, Ryan, I interrupt gently. Let's keep it that way. He nods, a flicker of respect. My mother appears, all pale blue chiffon. Darling, could I steal you? Family matters. In an alcove, her smile dims. Your father and I were hurt by that email, Clara. Setting terms, it felt so cold. I needed clarity, Mom. We're family. Family supports each other without conditions. That support should flow both ways, I say. I love you. But I've learned to love myself, too. We won't be around forever, you know. I know, I say gently. And when you truly need me, I'll be there. But what you've been asking for isn't need. It's entitlement. She stares at me, this daughter who no longer bends. Will you call next week? She asks, her voice smaller. Sunday afternoon, I confirm, for 30 minutes. As we agreed. As we leave, I spot Ryan watching. Our eyes meet. He raises his glass slightly, an acknowledgement. Ready? Miles asks. I look back at my family, spinning in their familiar orbits. Yes, I say, squeezing his hand. I'm ready. A year later, the birthday candles flicker in my kitchen. Miles is beside me. My friend Maggie raises her glass. To choosing your family and your future. The small gathering, 5 people who genuinely want to be here. Cheers. No empty chairs. No checking my phone. I blow out the candles, but I struggle to think of a wish. My company hit a $45 million valuation. The book Miles and I wrote on business ethics is on my coffee table. The H of disappointment has faded. Later, a young woman named Jessica, one of the entrepreneurs I mentor through my foundation, knocks on the door. Sorry to crash, she says. But I've been offered a partnership with my father's business, and I don't know how to tell him I want to build something of my own. I pour her a coffee. Obligation and love are different currencies. I tell her. One depletes you. The other fills you up. As I guide her, I realize how far I've come. In the kitchen, Miles lights a single candle on the last slice of cake. Do you ever wish they had shown up that night? He asks. I shake my head. No. Because if they had, I might never have met the man who taught me that kindness can come from anyone. Later, on the balcony, he hands me a glass of Cabernet. Any regrets? I take a sip. The wine tastes of celebration, not solitude. Sometimes, the loneliest birthday becomes the first gift of freedom. As darkness settles, I realize the candles that once burned alone now light a path forward, surrounded by people who choose to be present, not merely obligated to appear. Thank you for listening to my story. The lesson I learned is that family should not be a debt you have to pay. It should be a foundation you can build on. Sometimes, the most loving thing you can do, for yourself and for them, is to build a fence of self-respect. Have you ever had to set a boundary with someone you love? What did you learn from it? And how did it change your relationship? Please share your wisdom and your own stories in the comments section below. And if you found value in this story, please click that like button. Share it with someone who might need to hear it, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss a new story of resilience and strength.